In this video, we will go over the connection to the cainites and this word here for kene, which we've discussed a little bit before. We'll go over where that word is used, and then at the end, we'll show how it confirms what we found earlier, the connection to the cainites and their spot on the tree of life, which will be confirmed in Proverbs. So here we see first, here's one of the first matches for kene in Genesis 13:14. So again, we see the kuf nun construction here. And so it comes over 13:14 of Genesis, and one of the matches is and kadma. So I'm bringing that up just because of the cainite connection to the Cadmonites, who are in the same verse. And kadem, east, or kadem means east, but kadma could be the root for Cadmonite, the Cadmonite, hakadmani. And actually, yeah, we'll leave that alone. But kene, as you see, here it is, 155 is the value. And the actual word shows up 43 times in the entire text. The first time being here, Genesis 14:19. So Al Elyon, so Abram, Baruch Abram, Al Elyon, Kene, Shemaim, and Ve'aretz. So this is to acquire heaven and earth. To acquire heaven and earth. The Most High is Elyon, or Al Elyon is the Most High. And then we see Kene again, Al Eli. So the Most High God. So this is Methuselah speaking to blessing Abram. So we see here the Most High God, and then again Kene Shemaim. So heaven and the earth, who acquires heaven and earth. And then again, Kene Abraham, and this is the purchase from the Binah Het, the Hittites, which we've discussed many times. It shows up again in 47. So you guys can look this up for yourself if you like and see if you notice any coincidences. So 47, 49, 50 in Genesis. Uh, 50, and then in Vayikra, it doesn't show up in Exodus. It shows up again in Leviticus here, 25 and 28. Then it also shows up in many other times. I would encourage you to look these up for yourself. Again in Psalms 68:31. But most interestingly, many times in Proverbs. So we see multiple times just in Proverbs chapter 4. So twice in verse 5, twice in verse 7. But here is going to be our focus. We see more times where this comes up as well. So this is usage of kene in 16:16, 19:23, and 27. I'm going to go to 16 here and show how it confirms the place of the cainites on the tree of life, which we saw earlier in one of the earliest videos. So let's go check that out. Here's Proverbs 16:16 in the English. How much better is it to acquire wisdom, kene, acquire. How much better is it to acquire wisdom than gold, and to acquire understanding is preferable to silver. This is really one of my favorite verses, even before I noticed the cainite connection here. So let's have a look at this in the Hebrew. How much better is it to acquire wisdom than gold? And to acquire understanding is preferable to silver. So again, here we have metals being discussed, and we know that the cainites are metal workers. So keneh, chokmah, is to acquire wisdom. And then we have here, so keneh. And then here, vav kanut, I believe is how you would say this. And to acquire, so and to acquire right here. So we have acquire chokmah, and then kanut, vav kanut, which we see Binah, and to acquire understanding is preferable to silver. So we have the metals, keneh, and then this word to acquire. So we have the word to acquire, which we know comes from keneh, and we have chokmah and binah. So what is interesting to me is, if you saw the earlier video, they have the cainites placed on the tree of life as binah, and here we have to acquire understanding, binah. So we have the two words together with related to the cainites, and it just happens to have binah or binah right here, which is the sephirot that they, I guess the sages or certain sages agreed where the cainites of the 10 nations would be placed on the sephirot binah. So interesting coincidences there to consider. And I would definitely recommend anybody who is looking for clues, this cainite stuff, to check out the where and when this word keneh is used. You can even now, because when you do this, certain other words like this will show up, which then you can look up for yourself as well, which will then turn into show you verses and chapters with other words with this kuf nun construction show up that you've never seen before as well, and new connections can be made that way. So here we have, and to acquire understanding, which seems to back up the place that they were put on the tree of life, the sephirot binah. If you'd like to get a hold of me or have any comments about this or questions or criticisms, please feel free to get a hold of me anytime, and I'll get back to you. You can comment on here, or you can send an email to Jethro and the cainites at gmail.com, which you'll find in the description. Thank you.